Harry is dumbfounded at Charles's reconciliation condition, as long as no Meghan. Hello, friends. Welcome to breaking royal news about the notorious hypocritical couple, Harry and Meghan Markle, on our Royal Trust channel. Everywhere there are talks of a peace negotiation occurring between the King and the Sussexes. Is this information accurate, or is it simply another attempt by Meghan and her supporters to create a positive image? Inside sources at Buckingham Palace have indicated that the divide between the monarch and the Duchess of Sussex appears to be irreparable. Since Prince Harry and Meghan Markle chose to step away from their royal roles, the gap between the Duke and Duchess of Sussex and the royal family has seemed insurmountable, although there might be a chance for change in the upcoming days. Despite relinquishing his noble title, Prince Harry cannot distance himself from his biological family. Presently, British royal experts are speculating that Charles III is seeking to reconcile with his youngest son, Harry. However, these discussions exclude Meghan from the equation. Charles is not considering her involvement. According to a report in the Daily Mirror, the Duke of Sussex is scheduled to meet with King Charles III in the following month, after his participation in the Invictus Games in Germany concludes. An insider at Buckingham Palace shared with the Mirror that King Charles will return from Balmoral around mid-September and is not planning to journey to France until the 20th of that month. The same sources also indicate that preparations are underway for a conversation between father and son on September 17th. This exchange aims for reconciliation, or, at the very least, an agreement that will help repair their relationship. Notably, the Duchess of Sussex is not part of these deliberations. The meeting will solely involve Charles and Harry. King Charles has no intentions of communicating with Meghan, let alone arranging a personal meeting. The British media will likely interpret this as a clear indication that the British royals have no desire to mend ties with the American actress. Furthermore, both Harry and Meghan, as well as Buckingham Palace and Kensington Palace, have promptly dismissed the notion of peace talks, as reported by the Daily Beast. Meghan seems more convinced than ever about an impending divorce, although doubts linger. While it's evident that the marriage is facing difficulties, any substantial developments are unlikely until Meghan identifies her next pursuit. It's questionable whether Harry would initiate a separation, as Meghan appears to believe. What's even more concerning is her assertion that the royal family would become involved. Such a scenario could be disastrous. Clearly, there's an assurance that the children's financial needs will be met, but beyond that, they should allow Harry to address his own problems for once. If the royal family intervenes, Meghan could quickly regain victim status in the eyes of the public. She might assert that the royal family is attempting to separate a black mother from her black children, resulting in a massive backlash akin to Oprah's influence on steroids. An expert on royal matters contends that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's criticisms against the royal family have rendered them complete outsiders. The expert argues that it's justified that they are now being excluded, highlighting that the Sussexes seem to deliberately provoke the firm and might have pushed King Charles to his limits. The former royal editor of The Sun, Charles Ray, conveyed on Talk TV that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have become complete outsiders. They have been removed from the royal family website as HRH title holders, although they still retain their Sussex titles. The expert explains that they can no longer utilize their defunct HRH titles to advance their careers. The expert further elaborated, stating that there's a threshold to how far someone like King Charles can be pushed, and Harry and Meghan have exceeded it. Hence, it's only fitting that they are now being excluded. Their presence is no longer requested at upcoming royal events, although there isn't an official commemoration for Queen Elizabeth. According to the expert, the couple appears to be intentionally unsettling the royal family. Their actions, including the Oprah Winfrey interview and their Netflix series, along with their criticism of the royal family, indicate their lack of support for the institution, whereas the royal family has consistently supported them. The expert maintains that some members of the firm might not be inclined to welcome Prince Harry back warmly. The sentiment is that Harry has created his situation and must now face the consequences. The expert believes that the dynamic has irrevocably changed, regardless of whether Meghan is involved. The insatiable desire for money and attention exhibited by Harry and Meghan has inflicted lasting damage on their image. Their continuous inclination to lash out and criticize the royal family has become tiresome. These juvenile actions have not matured with time, as they have failed to display any level of grace. Their desire is to reconstruct various compilations of their brief shared history, attempting to amplify their relevance, while society would prefer quietness rather than a film. They've squandered numerous opportunities as time progresses and the royal family moves forward. Harry and Meghan are in a dire situation with no more gestures of goodwill extended to them. Their struggle against reality mirrors the futility of their envisioned future film. Numerous descriptions come to mind when thinking about Harry and Meghan, though many would be subject to censorship. Personally, my most vivid memories and images revolve around Prince Philip and Queen Elizabeth II. Their lives were dedicated to service, not just for a short span, but throughout their entire lifetimes, marked by integrity and respect. As a grandparent myself, I believe they knew Harry well and understood his capabilities. Nevertheless, when challenging situations arise, it remains profoundly saddening, particularly when one is at their most vulnerable. The calculated attacks launched by both Harry and Meghan against the royal family and Meghan's father are unforgettable and unforgivable. These are the very people who enabled them to become who they are. Despite being middle-aged adults with experience, they knowingly engaged in these actions and continue to do so. Being labeled as outcasts is a result of their own choices. In their version of truth, they portray themselves as victims, martyrs, and even saviors. Labels like outcasts, burning bridges, defiance, and revenge are worn by them as badges of courage. Their perspective is unyielding and ceaseless. The best course of action for everyone is to disregard them, their antics, and their world. What's your assessment of the likelihood of King Charles traveling from Scotland to England solely to meet with Harry? Where do you suspect this information originated? Could it be from Montecito? I will delve into these matters later, as they are connected to something else. However, I will express this. Whose interests are served by the release of news about a potential meeting? Charles, Harry's, or Meghan's? Returning to the rumor at hand, there are indications that Harry will engage in a meeting with the king. I speculate that the king won't be resolute. While he cares for his son, Harry's behavior has been appalling. It seems that Harry is seeking something, perhaps money. I don't believe genuine reconciliation is attainable until Meghan is no longer in the picture. A prevailing perspective, originating from well-informed sources, suggests that Meghan and Harry might not have a lasting relationship. While I can't provide explicit details, two credible sources have conveyed information that aligns with each other, both recently. If Harry and Meghan's marriage is facing difficulties, this insight comes from individuals whom Harry trusts and who are familiar with him. The crucial factor to consider is respect. While some perceive Harry as being dependent on both drugs and Meghan, it's reminiscent of the principle in AA that an alcoholic doesn't quit until the pain from drinking surpasses the pain from abstaining. Harry seems to have reached the point where he's prepared to relinquish his substance, primarily Meghan. There's no doubt that Charles cares deeply for his son and is determined to prevent Harry from making impulsive decisions in moments of despair. However, the likelihood of this scenario seems to be diminishing. It's acknowledged that Harry is grappling with addiction, a genuine ailment. His family's affection for him is unwavering. They are poised to support him in his recovery. Charles has been employing a strategy known as loving detachment, which is a recommended approach in such situations. Once Harry reaches rock bottom, the point at which he's receptive to assistance, Charles will extend his help. This narrative implies that the royal family is inclined to welcome Harry back, potentially overlooking his and Meghan's undesirable actions to prevent sensationalism and safeguard the children. The question arises about whether these children are entitled by law to their position in the line of succession and the titles of prince and princess. Why is Harry receiving support? It's suggested that Harry's attachment to Meghan has taken a toll and that he's being taken advantage of. The narrative shifts the blame away from him, claiming that he invited trouble by bringing Meghan into his life, naively watching as she caused chaos. Despite the seemingly far-fetched idea, Meghan's influence on Harry is likened to an addiction, with her persistent promotion of a Diana 2.0 inches narrative and her repeated manipulation of him using it as a tool. Instances like Meghan dramatically collapsing in tears, claiming suicidal thoughts while pregnant, and other such examples are cited. Recent claims about peace talks were debunked, and the actual purpose behind the meeting was more rational. The possibility of divorce seems worrisome for Harry's mental well-being. It's not uncommon for the person initiating a divorce, even with valid reasons, to be susceptible to depression and thoughts of suicide. Such a significant life change would be intensified on a global platform. The family appears unlikely to abandon him in this predicament. The prospect of such an outcome is deeply unsettling. Certainly, individuals grappling with mental health challenges often need to reach a low point before embarking on their path towards recovery. I belong to this group myself. However, this journey necessitates both a support team and emotional assistance from loved ones to emerge from that deep, ominous abyss. People enduring prolonged, untreated mental illness and/or substance abuse often inflict pain upon their family and friends. No one in any of the group therapy sessions I attended ever denied this reality. I certainly didn't. The addicts shared some particularly distressing and tragic experiences. However, those of us without such struggles don't have our actions broadcasted to the world, nor the impact on our loved ones. We aren't held accountable on a global stage. In this regard, I can empathize deeply. I don't foresee the family allowing him to follow the path of individuals like Britney and Kanye. Although drug use doesn't absolve someone from responsibility for their actions, I agree that Meghan seems to be the driving force behind their actions. However, Harry played a role by encouraging and enabling her to carry out these actions in exchange for generating the press and media attention she sought. I am entirely convinced that Harry willingly intended to cause substantial harm to Her Majesty the late Queen, Prince Philip, the British royal family, the relationships within the Commonwealth, the children, and the mental well-being of all members of the British royal family who have endured this onslaught with a smile over the past 5 years. He doesn't deserve any consideration, and if King Charles III gives in, my respect for him and the monarchy will be lost. The optimal outcome would be if the future King William removes their royal titles, although the alleged surrogacy might never be addressed. Charles, being a father, naturally wishes to prevent his son from self-harm or worse, as any caring parent would. Harry might return, but I suspect Meghan won't. She's always had a desire to live in California, and that's where she will likely stay. I've come across information about a summit at Balmoral. It's raising suspicions. Do you have any insights to share? Yes, I've been gathering information from various royal residences. There's a prevailing belief, whether substantiated or not, that Harry and Meghan's marriage is facing significant turmoil. They spend minimal time together. However, the Balmoral meeting isn't centered around the King, Queen, Catherine, or William. Keep in mind that in matters related to the monarchy, Prince Edward and Princess Anne also hold influence. There are unresolved issues concerning the Commonwealth and the significant harm caused by Harry and Meghan through their falsehoods. William and Catherine will lead the effort to restore stability. It's worth noting that the Commonwealth has recognized Meghan and Harry as problematic individuals, contrasting with the exemplary conduct of William and Catherine. If Meghan and Harry were to separate, there would need to be a meeting to address the ensuing matters. From what I've gathered, the urgency primarily stems from the intricacies of their breakup, especially given their children's involvement. Although potential threats to the monarchy's balance are implied, rest assured that all the natural-born royals hold significant influence. While Meghan might believe she possesses some leverage, there are complex circumstances that require resolution. Everyone involved, including Meghan, is keen to avoid sensationalism. Meghan might think she has the means to ignite a fire, but ultimately, she could be consumed by it. She's the one adding fuel to the flames, having contributed to a major predicament. Of course, the welfare of the children and their best interests are crucial considerations. Responsible parents and grandparents wouldn't want to see the kids exploited. Could you provide some information about Soho House? What's its significance in London? Who is Marcus Anderson? Who are the individuals affiliated with Meghan? Back in the early 90s, Soho House served as a networking hub for media professionals. Soho House isn't exclusive. It's a gathering spot for aspiring individuals. While it might lack depth and authenticity, its members tend to be prosperous and accomplished. I have connections at varying levels. Concerning Marcus Anderson, I've come across intriguing insights. He's known for being discreet, intelligent, and adept at navigating various situations. His association with Meghan Markle speaks volumes. As my mother used to say, "Show me your friends, and I'll tell you who you are." In Marcus Anderson's case, he's shown us Meghan Markle. My intention isn't to criticize Soho House. They operate as a networking platform. What do you think of the rumors of reconciliation between Harry and the British royal family and the incurable fantasy of Meghan Markle? Let us know your thoughts below in the comments section. We hope you have found this helpful video. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you like it. Thank you for watching this newsletter. See you in the next videos. Goodbye.